Well, 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 well. Merry Christmas, everybody. Glad you are all here today. As you can see, I am full of holiday cheer. I've got my nice red quarter zip on. Um, Probably look like your dad on Christmas morning, but it's okay. I love it. Um, just a heads up. So we've got the internet issue fixed. The only other issue we might have is because we don't have the monitor yet, the GPU might be a bit low, and so it's going to be it might be a bit laggy at some parts because behind the scenes I have our news story pulled up, but after we go over that, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that tab, and the stream should run much better. But we can't complain because it's running 10 times better than it was before. Obviously, it is not going out for like 50 million years and then coming back for like 2 seconds and then going out again. It'll go out here and there before I close these tabs out, but we cannot complain. This is epic. I'm so glad y'all are here. 17 views already, 4 people watching at the moment. I'm sure I am sure that there's more than that because OBS doesn't always tell me up to date what's going on. So, well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad it looks great. It could be, it's lagging a bit more on my end. What could be the case if y'all are not experiencing that much lag, what could be the case is just OBS system is lagging it, feeding to me lag. But if it's good on y'all's end, then that's great. That's fantastic. I'll probably watch this back later tonight just so I can, fix some kinks here. So, it's Christmas. Before we get started into the topic, which is a very serious topic, we're going to have fun tonight. We're going to be live streaming every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night up to Christmas time. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. So, get excited for that. It's going to be great. Yes, OBS is heavy on a computer, but we're going to get into the tough topic we've got to talk about today. Right quick. I hope y'all like the Christmas tree. This was my great-grandmother's artificial tree. It is artificial, sadly. One of these days, I tell you, one of these days, when we have like 1 million subscribers and we're getting like thousands of views, I will personally go to the mountains of North Carolina and become a mountain man, and I will get a real Christmas tree for the LaFone studio. I will get a real Christmas tree for Studio 125. But that's when we have 1 million subscribers and we're getting thousands of views. So over here, of course, we've got our nativity. We love the nativity scene. We do not have the wise men because it is not biblically, and I will come looking in your homes at your nativity scenes. It is not biblically accurate to have a nativity scene with the wise men there to see baby Jesus. In fact, if you pull up Matthew 2, it says after Jesus was born. So it's actually not biblically accurate to have the wise men here. That's why they're not here. Actually, the wise men are over there. And what that's a reference to is, so when I was young, I would get, I was still a stickler for that when I was 5 years old, which is funny because most kids, whatever. But I was a stickler for that when I was 5 years old because I played Little Boy Jesus in a Christmas play, and where the wise men come. And so I have the wise men over here to the side because that's what I did when I was younger. As I put the wise men off, say that they were on their way, so that we are still biblically accurate. So, and we got our angel here, and of course we got the Constitution in the background. It's beautiful. It's like, this is America. And of course we got the cross back there as well. The cross in the background slightly, but still there. A reminder of what this baby came to do. It was a baby born to die. Die on the cross and pay for our sins. So we're going to have a great time tonight. We've got to get through the bad stuff first. Probably why you clicked on this video. There's more scandal in the GOP with someone that I actually know pretty well. And it's a tough topic, but we're going to get into it, and we've got to talk about it because we've spent too long letting things like this slide. And both sides, political establishment, both sides are pretty given to pedophilia quite often. The Democrats do it. Republicans do it. It's just a both sides political establishment issue. Why is that? Well, because when you're powerful, you think you can do whatever you want and get away with it. And so often, throughout history at least, our political establishment has gone to pedophilia and done all of those disgusting, abhorrent sex crimes, because politics oftentimes attracts the worst type of people, which is sad. That's why I am in this spectrum, or in this sphere. I might be on the spectrum, but that's why I'm in this sphere. Not that I'm a good person. Quite the opposite. I'm an evil person saved by grace, by the grace of God, who was born on that Christmas day. I'm a wicked person saved by the grace of God, but at the same time, I'm someone who, I'm in this not for myself, like most people are. I'm in this for Him. I want my country returning back to their love of Him, to their first love. It's the same thing that a prophet would do in ancient times, in the Old Testament. A prophet being sent to the people of Israel to call them back to God, to call them back to their first love. And that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what a lot of us are trying to do over here. You've probably seen the logo pop up at the end. You probably saw it pop up at the end of the ISAIAH LaFone show this week, by the way. We're not doing any more monologues. You're going to get ISAIAH LaFone raw, baby, because that seems to be what y'all actually like. So, Witherspoon Media, you'll hear more about that in the coming weeks and months. But we've got to stop ignoring the problems on both sides of the aisle and our political establishment. It's time to get tough. Hold on. Yeah, it's time to get tough. So, I had a completely different show planned for y'all tonight. Let's get into it here. And if you want to be a part of, and I'll answer some theology questions, but I'm mostly answering political questions. I had a different show planned for y'all tonight. By the way, if you want to be part of the panel session that'll happen later, about 9:30, we'll move to the panel, move from solo to the panel. Join the Lounge VC on the ISAIAH LaFone Discord server, and you can be part of the panel session that will be happening at 9:30. Okay. So I had a different show planned for y'all tonight. And it was an economic show. I've got, I had notes, I had everything all written up. We were going to talk about the exploitation of the American man. And it was going to be a heavy economy week because this Saturday's episode of the ISAIAH LaFone show, I was going to be covering the accusation from people that I'm a communist. But something happened last night. I was about to go to bed, and I saw on a fellow conservative creator's Instagram story that a man by the name of Ja'Quon Stembridge had been caught in a child predator sting. Those who watched my content, who've watched my content for a long time, know that we had, at the time, was the pleasure, at the time, of having on Mr. Ja'Quon Stembridge. Then I think he was the chairman or president of the Georgia Teenage Republicans. Young man. And then soon thereafter, I think in March or April, he was elected assistant secretary of the Georgia Republican Party. So, and then after that, in about, October, September, when we were planning the ISAIAH LaFone show, I invited him on. And I see Christian, my friend Christian's in the chat, so he knows about the planning process for the ISAIAH LaFone show because he was there. He was there. It was great. I invited him to come on to the ISAIAH LaFone show. Then we were just going to reboot as ISAIAH LaFone Unapologetic and do that again. But we renamed it to the ISAIAH LaFone show, so I invited him to come on. And he was very weird during the whole process. He responded to me. We were in contact, but he was very weird during the whole process. Mr. Stembridge was. He was not responding to me well. When he was, it was quite weird, actually. And then I thought, well, okay, because he told me, like, oh, I forget that I have this account. I actually have this other account. And I messaged him through the other account. He never responded, but he only responded through his official account. He ignored my messages to the personal account. Which in doing that, you know, when someone agrees to come on, which he did agree to come on, he said he was going to. When someone agrees to go on and they're not responding to my asking, hey, when do you want to come on? They're being weird about it. What seems like they're scuttling it. Which, to be fair, might have been what he was doing. We don't know. I sent him my number. I said, hey, this is my new number. Text me when you get a chance, you know. Going to be great having you on. Already had the topic, you know, planned out and everything. He was on my schedule. He was on the ISAIAH LaFone release schedule. And this stuff came out. And obviously the video that I did with him last October, has been deleted. And the invitation that I sent to him to come on the ISAIAH LaFone show has since been, and is now officially, publicly, rescinded. We do have 10 people watching. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. If you're new here, my name is Isaiah Presley LaFone. Make sure to like and subscribe. So my invitation to him has been rescinded. Did I know? That's the question. You know, people, did I know? The answer is no. I did not. I had no clue. If I did, he wouldn't have been on. Apparently, this has been a pattern. Apparently. I didn't know that it had been a pattern. I'm just finding out now from sources that I have who have talked to people who were aware of the situation that was happening. A good friend of mine. Now I know what was going on. Some stuff involving Discord, again, of all things. Guys, see, this is why having Christian Discord servers is like ours is so important. We need to shine a light in the dark place that is Discord. But anyway, I had no idea what was going on. Like I said, if I did, I wouldn't have had him on. I deleted his video, the video I did with him, because I want nothing to do with him. Pedophilia is disgusting. Repulsive. Jesus Christ himself says that if you cause one of these little ones to stumble, which is what Stembridge apparently has been doing, what he thought he was doing when he was caught, he who causes one of these little ones to stumble, is better for him that he has a millstone wrapped around his neck, or hung around his neck, rather, and thrown into the sea to drown. And I repeat the Lord's word, millstones. It was better for this man if he had had a millstone hung around his neck and he was thrown into the sea. Pedophilia is so abhorrent and disgusting, partly because it is the corruption not only of sex, which sex outside of marriage is always the corruption of sex. Not only that, it is the sexualizing of God's little children. Suffer the little children to come to me. Little children have always had a special place in the heart of God, a special place in Scripture, in Christian history. Christianity saved the children of the Roman Empire from pedophilia. You know what they used to do to those poor little children? Little boys specifically, when they were about 12, 13, 11, 10, somewhere around that range, that early preteen range, early teenager range, they were handed off to older men who would sexually abuse them. And that was their, becoming a man kind of thing. Sexual abuse. Christianity, when Constantine converts to Christianity, Christians immediately begin lobbying for the end of that. Christianity saved children. We had people in early Christian times that used to, because the Romans, what they would do is if they didn't want a child, they would throw it out, leave it to die of exposure. We had Christians who used to go out and take these little children, take them in, take care of them, open up their homes, their hearts, their families to these people, to these children. So Christianity's always had a heart for little children. Christianity has a history of saving children from pedophilia. And don't hit me with the Catholic Church, but they were, priests, molest. I understand that. But that's firmly against the teaching of Christianity. And it was repulsive, disgusting, and utterly rebuked. Okay? Pedophilia is the corruption of the innocence of God's most precious children. A 5-year-old has no business being sexual. A 14-year-old has no business being sexual, by the way, either. But pedophilia is corrupting the innocence of God's most precious children. The most, quote-unquote, innocent of us. I know, I understand, none of us are good, but I'm using this term to be clear about my feelings about this. Corrupting the most innocent among us, the children. It's repulsive. It's disgusting. And this man calls himself a Christian. And he claims he was a Christian and all this stuff. I'm not going to pass judgment on his soul because I don't do that as a general rule. But if he is a quote-unquote Christian, which, by the way, the most unchristian thing you can do is violate a child. One of the most unchristian things you can do is look at one of God's most precious creations. Say, you know what? I'm going to traumatize them. I'm going to steal their innocence. I'm going to steal their joy. That is one of the most disgusting, repugnant, unchristian things you can do. And this man calls himself a Christian. And apparently this was a pattern, which is why some people raise the question, hey, is he actually saved? And like I just said, I don't pass judgment on people's souls. But James is perfectly clear. You tell me you have faith, I'll show you my faith by my works. How can you be a Christian gentleman with a history and a pattern of sexualizing minors? That is no Christian thing, sir. You are no Christian, sir. There's a question to be raised. I'm not going to judge, but there's a question to be raised. And I hope Mr. Stembridge knows that. And I hope he is accepting responsibility, accountability for his actions. Luckily for us, we have footage of the sting operation that uncovered Ja'Quon Stembridge, as well as screenshots of some of the texts, which are disgusting. Okay. I know we have a troller in the comments. We have a lib in here claiming that I knew what he was doing and that I'm lying. You know, you're just making crap up at that point. What else he say? My crimes are exposed. Well, good luck. Good luck finding crimes on me. That's all I'm going to say. This is another thing. We must live above reproach. Be a person that can't say anything bad about you. So you can look for crimes, but you're not going to find anything. I'm going to hell. Well, wait a minute. Why is a gay guy telling me I'm going to hell? What are we doing, chat? What are we doing? Okay, let's look at the image. What organization did the sting? I'm not aware. I think it was private, because to my understanding, and we're going to watch the video here, there's two little clips that America First Post put on X. They didn't do the sting. But then there's a longer video that was also posted that I think might be the original, might be taken from the original poster. I don't know. But we're going to watch the two clips that America First Post put up. Yeah, I know it's the same troll that's harassing me. I don't give a crap. He likes bestiality. Oh. Okay. So he needs to be clapped up in the madhouse, is what you're telling me. Leave the dogs alone, son. Okay. So we're going to look here. We're going to see the two clips that America First Post put up, and then we're going to look at the longer clip. I haven't seen the longer clip all the way through, so I'm going to kind of be reacting to it with you guys. So let's see. We can do this here. Make sure this is all set up here. Okay, cool. Ah, no. No. There we go. Now that's a scoop of ice cream there. Okay. Okay. Let's get this pulled up now. Alrighty. Okay. Let's watch this. So again, there's the first clip and the second clip, and then we're going to go over here and we're going to watch the longer clip. So let's start with the first one. Can we get a good visual on his face? Okay, yeah, so that's clearly Ja'Quon Stembridge. And I can tell you right off the bat, without even like the, title of the thing or whatever, telling me, oh, Ja'Quon Stembridge did this. I could tell you it's Ja'Quon Stembridge. That's Ja'Quon Stembridge. All right, let's keep going. All right, pause right quick. So we're seeing the See, these are some of the text messages. I assume this is from him because he says, "Oh, I can't." Let me. There we go. That's better. Oh, I can't risk getting exposed. Lol. I'd rather show in person. Unless you want to show first. I'm free today. Okay, works for me. Honestly. Okay, it calls him daddy. That's crazy. So there's a message from him. I can't risk getting exposed. Rather show in person. We know what he's talking about. And here's the message here. He says, I turn 15 next month. So what we're getting at is this brother knew that he was 15. Supposedly, this person who was getting him was supposedly 15. He knew it. He knew it. Right quick. I have to say, this wasn't some, oh, whoopsie daisy. She said she was 18. No, this brother knew who he was talking to. He knew she was 15, and he went through it with it anyway. That's repulsive. That's disgusting. But I guess if you have a pattern of this, why am I not surprised? Guess if you got a pattern of it, you've gotten away with it since for so long. I don't know how long he's gotten away with it. Apparently for a while. If you've gotten away for so long, I guess, whatever. I guess he thinks he's just invincible at this point. All right, here we go. Let's watch it. So he's lying. He's saying he's 17. This brother is 1 year older than me, by the way. He's 19. He's not. So he's already off on a bad stretch. So if he had just said, it would have even been better. It's still disgusting because it's pedophilia. It's repulsive. But he makes it even worse by lying. Let's keep going. So he's lying here. And so now he's committed blasphemy because he's sworn before God and told a lie. So now he's committed blasphemy. And that's a very heinous crime. If he doesn't repent, he's going to hell. Apologize for the foul language used there. He conveniently does not have his ID while driving. He skipped a grade, guys. Okay. So get to the other clip. 1 second. Let's kind of... Video has no audio. No audio. Okay. Let's... I wonder why that is. Let me... Oh, I know why that is. All right, there we go. We fixed it. Let me play that. Let me play that again one more time so y'all can hear. You guys can y'all guys hear that now? I think I fixed it. Can y'all hear it? Let me know in the chat. So he conveniently doesn't have his ID while he's... So, as I was saying earlier, he's lying immediately because he's saying he's 17. He's 1 year older than me. And now he's saying that he conveniently does not have his ID. Still no. Still no. Well, I just turned it on. Oh. There we go. All right. Let's run that back and let's see again. Let me know in 3, 2, 1.
Are you 19 or are you 17?
I'm 17, I swear to God.
Okay.
Can y'all hear now?
Don't lie to me.
Let me know in the chat. It looks on my screen like it should be playing audio.
Let me see the ID.
I'm for real.
Bruh,
to God.
if
I
you
swear to God.
19, just say it. Nigga, you'll get way more respect with me being honest.
I
nigga.
swear to God, oh my God. Look,
Can y'all hear that? Yep. Okay. Cool. Cool. Good. So yeah. So now y'all hear that. So what he's doing is he's doing kind of the like. I'll give my commentary really thought out commentary here in a second. But he's repeating the same thing. I'm 17. I'm 17. So he's lying, and then he's swearing before God that he's lying, which in Christianity, in case you don't know, if you're here, you're not a Christian, is blasphemy, and that's a really serious crime. You're going to hell for that. So he's swearing before God. So he's telling a lie, and then he's swearing before God that it's the truth, and conveniently doesn't have his ID. Okay. Let's see here. And is this, it says 19 male. Is this like a dating app? Like, what is this? Like, chat, what is this? Is this Grindr or something? Are we for real on Grindr or something like that? I don't know. Let me know in the chat. I don't really know. I'm not familiar with dating apps. Here we go.
can you look at my tag? I swear, I don't even have a car in my name.
Which, by the way, why are you wearing pajama pants outside, bro? Dress appropriately.
I swear to God. I swear to God. You can call my mom. I swear to God, I'm only 17. Just please.
So you can call his mom. He's only 17.
Like, look, check my pockets. Do whatever you want. I
You
swear
in
to God.
college? What you?
I'm in college. I'm like, I skipped the grade. So, I swear to God.
Bruh,
So you don't
you
think I'm
19, bruh.
All right, I'm 17. I swear to God, my birthday's July 12th. I swear to
July
God.
12 what?
I'm 18.
You-
I'm 18. I'm 18.
Okay, there it is.
Why you lying to me, bruh?
There it is. So he lies for a second time. Let me put this back up here. So he lies. He already lied. Okay, he lied before. And now he's lying for a second time. Because he's saying, he originally said, hey, I'm 17. Trust, bro. Trust. I am 17. You must trust me. And then he's like, and he's swearing before God that it's the truth. Which, again, if you're not familiar with Christianity, is blasphemy. So he's swearing before God that it's the truth. First he says, I'm 17. Trust, bro. Trust. And then he says, okay, fine. He slips up. He hadn't thought it all the way out yet. Because he says, my birthday is such and such day. He says, my birthday's like such and such day, whatever. He says July 12th, I think is what he says. And then he says, what year? Ooh. Mr. Stembridge hadn't thought that far out ahead. He tells him, he says, what year? Okay, July 12th of what year? And he can't tell him. Can't tell him. No, sir. Not having a hater isn't harassment, but saying that you hope that I get caught doing literal crimes is, and saying that I'm lying about knowing or not knowing what was going on. That's just harassment. You're just making things up. Wait till they get exposed. Yeah, whatever, bud. Okay. Also, aren't you like screwing animals? Like, dude, I'm gonna have to like hide you from the channel, dude, because I don't want like a freaking. I don't want a dude who's out here screwing dogs commenting on my things. Okay. So he repeats the same thing. This is what you see with like very low IQ people. When they get into these situations where they're under pressure, they just repeat the same thing over and over. And the reason I know he's low IQ is because an intelligent person, a good person, wouldn't do this, one. Second thing, an intelligent person, there are intelligent people who commit terrible crimes, but an intelligent person would have admitted first thing, and he wouldn't be repeating the same baloney over and over. He says, Oh, I'm 17. I'm 17. Trust, bro. Trust. And then he says, my birthday is July 12th. And he's like, what year? He hadn't thought that far out ahead. He hadn't thought of the he hadn't thought the story that far out ahead. And then he says, I'm 18. He's not. I'm 18. I'm 18 now. That brother is 19. Okay. So he hadn't thought that far out ahead. By the way, we've got 41 views right now on this live stream, 10 active viewers. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Okay. So he was repeating the same thing, and he finally admits he's 18. Now, we're going to go back to this. Let's see here. We're going to go back to this here. There we go. I'm so excited to do these live streams with y'all, by the way. I'm so excited that we've got things working. I mean, you know, like I said, we don't have the monitor yet, so it's going to be in and out while I have stuff in the background, but for right now. But all right, here we go. This is the second part of this. At least the first video.
I'm like, I skipped grade.
So there's another lie. He says he skipped a grade. He did not.
Bruh, you 19, bruh.
All right, I'm 17. I swear to God, my birthday's July 12th. I swear to
July
God.
12th.
There's this again.
I'm 18.
You,
I'm 18.
bro, why you lying to me,
What
bro?
I was doing, I swear to God, I wasn't.
So there's been several lies in this. He's lied about his age twice. He has lied about not having the ID, probably. I don't know of, unless you're just a very reckless person and you don't drive with your driver's license, whatever. Don't want to speculate on that, really. But most likely, he's lied about that. Probability is high. He means lying. Every other word from this man is a lie today, including and, the, and but. So he's lied about that. He's lied about his position in college. No, he's lied about that because he's a sophomore.
I would never do something like that. I swear to God. I'm just. Can't tell you again.
Let me just,
I would never do something like that. Apparently, you've done it several times, but
nigga, you already know what that shit is.
several times.
I already peeped your behavior, nigga, driving around trying to peep the scene.
Apologize for the language.
That shit ain't cool, nigga.
Right.
Like,
I'm
there
sorry.
ain't none of that shit going on in Athens, bro. Like,
Right, my bad.
delete the profile, nigga, or whatever, nigga.
I do it. I swear to God.
Apologize to Athens, though.
I apologize.
You gonna do that shit again?
I swear to God, I won't. I delete it. I put on everything I love. My mom, I swear to God.
Don't do that. College, what you?
Okay, so he says he's going to delete it. The guy lets him go. Don't know all the story with all that. I don't know how this video got out. If you guys know, like, let me know. I don't know how the video got out because he's like, I swear on everything I love, I won't do it again. Pretty please, which is obviously bullcrap. So I'm glad that it got released. I'm glad that all this is getting outed. When I first saw this, we're going to get to the other video here in a second, a longer video. Maybe it'll add some more context. I haven't seen it all the way through, like I said. But when I first saw this last night, my first pure emotion was anger. The first emotion I felt was pure, unbridled anger. And I wanted to slap him in the face. Southern style. I'm not angry that he got caught. Unlike most of his friends in the political establishment today, I'm glad he got caught. Got to catch them all. Catch some more. Because I can guarantee you there's more. And not just the Republican Party, but in the Democratic Party too. I wouldn't want to touch the current day political establishment with a 10-foot pole. That's why I've started Witherspoon Media. That's why I've started this. Hopefully we can build a community without their backing. But off that point, I'm glad that he was caught. I'm very glad he was caught. Wish he was caught sooner. Wish I never had the chance to make that video with him because he was caught. But the reason that my first emotion was pure, unbridled anger is because of what he did. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. Pedophilia is one of the most disgusting and despicable and repulsive acts that one can commit. He is a child sex predator. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's a child sex predator. It's disgusting. This is disgusting. That's why my first emotion was anger. Anger at him for what he did. What apparently he's done to other people. I know one of my friends on X, he's going to do a whole Twitter thread about it. And when that comes out, if that comes out before the live stream Wednesday, we'll cover it. Wednesday, and then we'll push the economy talk back to Friday. And you'll have back-to-back economy talks from ISAIAH LaFone. But I think this story is important, needs to be covered. I'm not going to say I'm sorry because I didn't know. There's nothing for me to be sorry about. I hope y'all aren't expecting me to say sorry because there's nothing for me to be really sorry about. I didn't know, had no knowledge. But let's go to the next video here. Okay. Let's go. By the way, if y'all are enjoying this live stream, let me know in the comments. We're going to be doing a lot more of these. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go to one live stream a week when I'm back in school, but for now, I have time on my hands. I love doing this with y'all. All right, here we go. So, Street Sweepers TV. Is this states? Cool. I don't know if this is the original. Probably not. His name is Ja'Quon Stembridge, and he's from Greensboro, Georgia. Greensboro, Georgia area. He's a stark Republican who I believe ran for some sort of public office and won. Yeah, the assistant secretary of the Georgia GOP. By the way, the GOP's just got to stop handing these. Why are we handing leadership positions out to anyone with a pulse? Please vet these people. Also, probably part of the reason, let's just be honest, because identity politics exists on the left and the right. Let's just be completely real about this. Most likely, part of the reason that he was chosen and elected by a damn good margin is because he's black. Identity politics exists on both the left and the right. And the Republican Party has been doing this all over the country where they're just handing out positions to people of color, the black people, and to brown people, all these other people. They're practicing DEI. Not on a corporate level, but on an organizational level. When they vote for these leadership positions, they're intentionally voting in people who are not white because it makes them look better, they think. But then you get crap like this happening. All right, let's see this longer video.
Come here. Hey, what you doing? Come here. Come here, nigga.
Again, apologize for the language. We don't condone that language here.
What you got going on? Why are you trying to meet up with a 14-year-old?
I swear to God.
What?
No, listen. I swear to God.
Nigga, I know it's you.
Listen.
What?
I swear to God. Look, this is my friend. I swear to God. I swear to God. Look, I'm not even. Look, for real though. Please, I'm only 17. Like, I swear to God.
You only 17? Your profile say you 19.
I swear to God, I'm only 17.
Let me see your ID.
Can you? Please.
Let me see your ID. You want to go to jail?
Yeah, he definitely had his ID on him.
No, I don't. But I'm.
You can just tell. Let's watch this back here. So,
I swear to God. Look, I'm not even. Look, for real though.
Look. Can't even talk right. And this is not a black thing, or this is an everybody thing. I'm not meaning this as a race thing. I'm meaning this is an entire America-wide thing. Whether you're black, blue, white, or orange, this is not a race thing. People can't speak straight anymore. I get he's under pressure, but nobody can speak correctly anymore.
Please.
There we go.
I'm only 17. Like, I swear to God.
You only 17? Your profile say you 19.
I swear to God, I'm only 17.
Let me see your ID.
Can you?
Yeah, he had his right there. He had his ID on him.
Please.
Let me see your
You can tell
you wanna go
the
to
lies.
No, I don't. But
You tell the lies, and the way that you can tell is that the fluctuation in his voice. So let me demonstrate this for y'all right quick. By the way, if y'all are still watching, let me know in the chat. Chat's been real quiet for a minute. I see that at least 8 of y'all are watching. We have 47 views today, so thank you all. But let me demonstrate for y'all how I can tell that he's lying. And these are very basic tricks, not tricks, but basic cues. You can tell the pitch in his voice is changing. So, we all raise our voice. I just did a little while ago. Get louder and put emphasis on a word. But what he's doing is completely different. What this man is doing, you can tell he's lying. Oh, that's good. Thank you. You can tell he's lying because the pitch in his voice is changing. So he goes from the, I swear to God, everything's okay, all this to oh my God! And the pitch in his voice gets suddenly very high and squeaky. No, I don't. I just, please, I swear. Please. I swear on Mama. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. He's nervous because he's guilty. So that's one thing. Other thing, too, he can't stand still. He can't stand still. And I can't sit still. I mean, I'm rocking right now. You can see me, moving back and forth and stuff. That's my ADHD, by the way. But what he's doing is he's moving around sporadically because he's nervous, because he's guilty. That's a clear sign of someone's guilt. He's moving around sporadically. He's, rubbing his, putting his hand, his head, his face in his hands, moving around, got the voice going. He's lying. Very obvious to any investigator who would look at them. You want to go to jail? No, I don't. I don't want to go to jail. Whoa. Brother, grow a pair. You got balls, son? But you grow a pair. You did it. You did it. You got caught. Face him like a man. Look him in the eye. You think you're big. You think you're a man. You're nothing but a boy. It's just a scared little boy. Whining and complaining. Crying. Because he got caught doing a crime. I swear I'll never do it again. I'm sorry. No, you're not. You're sorry because you got caught. You would have done it again. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again. And I promise you this, because I'm a registered Republican. I don't care if I have 1 million subscribers or only one. But if this man ever thinks of getting off his little ass and running for office of any type in the Republican Party, whether that's statewide, federal, if he ever even sniffs the possibility of running for office again, I swear before the Almighty God that I will do everything in my power to take him down. His career is done. His life, as he knows it, is over. And it needs to stay that way, because too often what happens is crazy crimes like this happen. I get it. People make mistakes. People drunk drive when they're young. Some people have sex before marriage. That's terrible. Make a stupid decision while they're young. That's one thing. Pedophilia is another thing entirely. We have too often, we let these people get away with it. They offer some milquetoast apology, which he's going to do. He hasn't said anything on his social media. Probably the lawyer told him not to. He's going to offer some milquetoast apology. And I knew this man. I was friendly with this man. But you touch kids, I swear, dude, you mean nothing to me at that point. You touch kids, you mean nothing to me at that point. Oh, Isaiah, you're being hateful. He solicited pictures from minors. What do you mean? He tried to meet up with one to have sex. Too often we let these guys, they give a milquetoast apology. They'll we sorry. Then what happens? They'll be back. They come back about 20, 25, 30 years later, and they run for office. Look, and that comes up during the first debate. Mr. Such and Such, you touched kids when you were 19 years old. Look, okay. I did a lot of things when I was young that I am not personally proud of. I did a lot of bad things. And then the fake tears will come, because they're all actors. Most of the politicians, I'd say this, most of our politicians nowadays are actors who were too ugly to make it in Hollywood. That's most of the political establishment today. Especially this neocon, neoliberal kind of stuff. And I know I'm not earning any favors or any fans amongst powerful people with this. I don't care. I truly believe in the people of the United States. I truly believe that if the people want to listen to me, they will. I don't need the backing of the GOP. But anyway, yeah, he'll get up there. He'll do the fake tears. You know, I think about it to this day. You know, I did some terrible things. Oh, where's the tissue? Oh, it's me. I'm so sorry. Really? You couldn't give a fuck. Then they come off stage and their campaign manager's behind the scene, and he's like, "Great work today, sir. You really sold the public on that apology." And the politician's like, "Thanks, Jimmy. Glad to know these people are so gullible. I know, right? It's so easy to fool the American public. Yeah, I hate those guys." Which, by the way, most politicians hate you. I don't hate you, because I'm one of you. But most of these people, they live very comfortable lives and they hate you. "Yeah, Jimmy, the public is so stupid. But hey, we're going to be making bank when we're at the Senate. Yeah, boy. I'll be there to use. I'm gonna be there till I die. Sounds good, buddy. That's how that goes. Every time. Man, I can't wait to be making my millions on insider trading and continue being a pedophile. Hey, as long as you give me a slice of that, buddy, I'll be down with that. The state of politics in the United States in the year 2025. America needs reform. America needs moral reform and cultural renewal. And the culture of our politics must be renewed as well. Let's finish watching this little clip. Eye Patch McCain. Heidi ho, I'm Dan Crenshaw. And you're listening to Something Podcast with Dan Crenshaw. Now, let me tell you something right now. There ain't no deep state now. Don't come at me with no deep now. There ain't no deep state now. Are you? Bruh. We know there's a deep state, and you're part of it, Dan Crenshaw. Gosh, I used to like that guy. That was weird. That was back when I was in 2021 when I was like a libertarian. Those were the cringe ISAIAH LaFone days. Those were the Isaiah Long days. Isaiah Presley LaFone is infinitely superior to Isaiah W. Long. Okay, let's finish this video right quick, and then we're going to start to move off this topic.
Are you 19 or are you 17?
I'm 17. I swear to God, I don't want my mom.
Okay.
I'm 17, I swear to God. I don't want my mama. See, that's exactly what I was just telling y'all about.
Then talk to me then. Don't lie to me. Are you 19 or are you 17?
I swear to God, on everything I love. Like, you can look at my
ID.
On everything you love,
I have it. I'm for real.
you're disgraced to everything you love.
Bruh, if you 19, just...
Yeah, we've had about enough of that, I think, today. You're a disgrace to... I'll swear on everything I love. Very southern way to say that, by the way. I'll swear on everything I love. You're a disgrace to everything you love. And I don't take that lightly. I'm not trying to insult him. But the truth is hard sometimes. And this here's the truth. But what will mostly happen is nothing, because oldest time, but nothing ever happens. Yes, I know. We've been proven wrong lots of times here. But for real, nothing ever happens. And we'll see him in about 25 years when he runs for United States Senate. And then when he does that, I will dedicate my life to taking him down. And I really think that by 25 years, I think America's going to be in a much better place than she is right now. And I think electing this type of person will be unthinkable. Let's go back in time when adultery was illegal and adultery got you impeached like Bill Clinton. So I think we'll be in a much better place 20 years from now. I don't think that he'll be elected. I think we're going to be undergoing moral reform by that point. Electing him would be unthinkable. He's a product of the current political system and the current elites who protect people like him. Hopefully we won't elect this type of person, at least unknowingly. Well, there it is. Okay. We're going to go through a couple questions right quick. We're going to move off this topic. Welcome to post-millennialism. No. People elected... Yeah, well, that's because America's in a sorry place right now. That's why we elected... why Virginia elected Jay Jones. I'm not in Virginia, but why Virginia elected Jay Jones is because we're in a sorry place right now. But I think we'll be in a better place in 20 years. Okay. It's Christmas time, baby. Let's do this. There we go. Let's go. It's Christmas. Time to move on to something fun. Okay. We're going to answer some questions, and then I'm going to get the panel pulled up. So if you are on the ISAIAH LaFone Discord server right now, if you're listening, and tell everyone on the Discord server, because I can't right now, tell them to get in the Lounge VC. In about 10, 15 minutes, we're going to run longer than 10 o'clock. Usually I want these to be an hour and a half. We're gonna run a little bit long time. But if you're in the Discord server, tell everyone, get in the Lounge VC. Go ahead and get in the Lounge VC, because I will pull up about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, yeah. Okay, let's go through some questions. Move past the flippin' troll. Let's go up here to these questions here. Again, I understand it's a difficult period, and this is a difficult period right now for views for me, which is why it's great that I have 8 people watching right now and 50 views. I'm so happy that you are all watching. We got 2 subscribers off of the last video, which was 205 views. That's great. That's the first solo video that's cracked 200 views in a long time since we repositioned. I'm going to stop answering so many theology questions. I will answer theology questions because it is important. But we have repositioned into politics. If the theology relates to politics, of course, we'll answer it. But we are going to be focusing on politics and cultural and issues of that nature. But I will touch on theology as well. But we are repositioning into politics. I know this time is tough. I haven't been consistent as a YouTuber before. That's why we've never grown bigger than this before. It's my fault because we haven't been consistent. But now we're being consistent. Consistently political and theological at the same time. But we are going to focus more on the politics. Questions here. This comes from my good friend, Christian. May or may not be an announcement concerning Christian tonight. We'll see. Witherspoon Media. Anyway. Why aren't more Christians with better theology high in politics? It seems those from Reformed and confessional circles seem to be non-existent in actual branches of government. Yeah, well, that's mostly because in the previous, like with the Young, Restless, and Reformed, they were a lot focused on the gospel and no law, and they didn't really focus on the politics, which is why it went woke very quickly. But that's why. It's because there was so much focus on the gospel and theology, and politics was seen as this little dirty thing that we don't touch, right? That's pretty much the reason why. Well, we got to fix that. And I think Gen Z, especially the Reformed people in Gen Z, are much more political than are for the people who came before us. Is Wilhelmus Van Diper a Sigma? Of course. Is America a Christian nation? Yes. Founding Fathers talked about this. John Adams specifically said that our government was made for a moral and religious people, and it's wholly inadequate to the government of any other, to the people of any other. And John Jay in the Second Federalist Paper, by the way, read the Federalist Papers, read the Founding Generation, read the Founding Fathers, read the Federalist Papers if you want to know how to interpret the Constitution. Don't be a liberal in the Constitution. Okay? The Constitution is to be interpreted as it was intended. But, so, in Federalist Paper number 2, John Jay says that one of the known reasons that this is going to work as a country is because we share one culture, one language, and one religion. He said you have to have Christianity or this isn't going to work. You have to be moral. This is not going to work. Right. Most of the people who signed the Declaration were Christians. People say, oh, there's just some deists and atheists and stuff. Sure, Thomas Jefferson was deist. I wouldn't accept the premise that Benjamin Franklin was deist. I think he was a Christian for his life. George Washington was most certainly a Christian. You can just read his prayers and find that out. John Adams was Unitarian. But then you have people like James Wilson, John Witherspoon, my boy, Presbyterian minister, President Princeton, John Witherspoon, James Wilson, Elbridge Gerry, Benjamin Rush, signer of Declaration and the Constitution, Alexander Hamilton, he was Presbyterian. Quite a lot of people, actually, that were Christians. Charles Carroll, he's Catholic. So you get quite a lot of Christians, actually. They love to focus on Thomas Jefferson because they can affirmatively say that he was deist. One of the best arguments for Calvinism is that Thomas Jefferson hated it. He hated John Calvin. But they can affirmatively say that Thomas Jefferson was a deist, and they can maybe try to claim Benjamin Franklin, and so they just then apply that to everyone, despite the evidence otherwise. It's revisionist history. It's secular history, secularization of history, in order to cut Christians out of the public square, in order to bully Christians out of the public square, because that's the only way that they can win and take over this country. They can't take over this country if Christians are in position of power, if Christians are doing what they need to do politically, because we have the truth. Their house is built in sand. Is Luxembourg the world's greatest country? No, that's America. Okay, well, homies, again, how can Protestants reclaim elite status in America? Retaking the elite institutions, Yale, Princeton, Harvard, that sort of thing, and running for office. Getting involved in politics. I'm not answering that. Eating ham will save America. True. That's a statement, not a question, sir. I'm going to be I'm going to check your I'm going to be a grammar teacher here for a second. Eating ham will save America. That's not a question, sir. That's a statement. That's a true statement. So keep away all the Muslims. We'll wipe all the Qurans with bacon. Thoughts on pornography? Disgusting, repulsive. It's literally just an excuse for more sex trafficking. Most of those women who are involved are sex trafficked, and they don't think they can go anywhere, have anything else they can do. They're sex trafficked and they're abused. You see documentaries, women who can't come out of that industry. It's heartbreaking. It's so dark. It's so demonic. The pornography industry literally takes advantage and abuses these women. And then it tries to convince men that women actually like being treated like absolute crap. It tries to teach women to like it, like being treated like an object. Pornography is repulsive and should be banned in the United States. I'm not responding to that question. That's a stupid thing to say. Thoughts on how to end the Roman Catholic femboy epidemic? I don't care. Alexis de Tocqueville. Alexis de Tocqueville was based, if you don't know, guys, Alexis de Tocqueville was a Frenchman who came over to America and he traveled America, tried to discover what made America so great. That's where we get American exceptionalism. And he decided that the churches actually were one of the biggest reasons that America was so great. By the way, guys, before I continue with these questions, 11 people watching, 53 views overall. Thank you so much, guys. But right quick, should I wear the hat? Should we put on the hat? Chad, I must know. Should we put on the Santa hat? Tell me in the comments. I will finish answering the questions. But should I put on the hat? That's the question. Right quick while I'm here. What are your thoughts on reintroducing the Ten Commandments to school? Based. All law is based on the Ten Commandments. It's basic law. Okay. All law is based on the Ten Commandments. Thus, we should have it in schools. Thus, we should teach it. Christianity must resaturate the culture of the United States. That's a great place to start. Peak manliness. Well, if you say so. All right, Buster. By the way, how do you guys like the shorter mullet? I kind of like it because it's more, it's more kept to the head. It's more clean cut. Yeah. So I hope you guys like it too. Since it increases my manliness. Ho, ho, ho. Ladies and gentlemen, Merry Christmas. Okay. All right. The chat has bullied me into putting on the Santa hat. Let's see. Can we put on the Santa hat and the headphones? Chat, is this possible? We can. Oh my gosh. We're going to have to pull the headphones down a little bit, but oh my gosh, guys, we have the Santa hat with the headphones. That's crazy. How do we look? We look beautiful. Oh, gorgeous. Awesome. That's amazing. Thank you, guys. We look great. Based. Okay. There we go. All right. The manliness, dude. My testosterone just increased by like 1,000,000%. Okay. Right quick while I'm down here. Any thoughts on classical education? Base, we should go back to classical education. We used to teach kids to learn. Bullied, yes. I'm being hyperbolic. We used to teach kids to learn using or to read using the Bible. And that's another part of saturating the culture once again with Christianity. And so that starts with classical education. Also, the classical education is just based. Like, it's just much more effective. Our society went downhill once we started, and our educational statistics went downhill once we got away from classical education. One of the hallmarks of traditional classical American education is we don't have grades like we have today, first grade, second grade, eighth grade. We have levels. So there were like 10 levels. I think there were 10 levels historically. There were 10 or 12. And you passed them when you passed proficiency. When you were proficient enough to pass the levels, you passed them. That's why you have James Madison, founding father, very Christian founding father, who literally graduates when he's 13. He's at Harvard when he's 13 years old. Dude, John Hancock going to college when he's quite young. So that's the ideal system. It gets the very intelligent people out of school instead of keeping them bogged down like we do now. Get them to college. Get them into higher education. So we should do the levels instead. So classical education is based. Now let's go back up here, and I'll come back down to your questions down there. Keep putting them in as I scroll through some of these. Here we go. Let's see here. Okay. How often do you think about the Roman Empire? Ha! Next. Thoughts on Aristotle? Cringe. Become a Platonist. Real ball knowers know what I'm talking about. Okay. Become a Platonist. Don't be an Aristotelian. Let's see. Oh, Christian, what is the why of ethics? Elite ball knowers know what he's talking about. And ethics is how we live in light of who God is. I hope Dr. Thacker sees this clip. I'm very proud of myself. Is Aristotle woke, right? Yes. Thoughts on all of the young reformers? What? Becoming Roman Catholic or atheist femboys, like faithfully fishing for facts. I don't know enough about them. Why do you dislike Catholics? Because it distorts the gospel. Okay. Scroll down here. I'm going to hell again. Okay. Or the independent fundamentalist Baptist. Dude, the one thing we found that liberals and rabid leftists and independent fundamentalist Baptists can agree upon. And that thing is that I'm going to hell, apparently. Okay. Scroll down here, some of these questions. How bad of an act would someone have to commit to not vote for them over someone else with very unchristian politics? How bad of an act would they have to be to vote for? I would say if the other person is not a Christian, if the other person's not a Christian, just don't vote for either one. You realize it's not a binary. it just isn't a binary. People who say the Constitution is a living document don't know what the whole purpose of the Constitution was. True. They're just, look, the left is just going to abuse the Constitution and reinterpret it, quote unquote, until they've had enough of it, and then they'll, like, create a new Constitution or something. That's what the left always. The left does not understand. The Constitution is not a living document. It's dead because we shot it. Second Amendment, baby. No, I'm kidding. The Constitution is not a living document. It's a governing document set in stone. Our rules are set in stone. They're not to be reinterpreted. You can't get a right to an abortion from the Constitution. Okay? You can amend the Constitution and put a right to an abortion in there, which is not going to happen because we're going to abolish abortion. Abortion is the slavery issue of our time. Again, the Democratic Party doesn't know what constitutes a human life. They didn't know what constituted a human life when it came to slavery, and they don't know what constitutes a human life when it comes to abortion. We're going to abolish abortion. How do I... Someone has been watching Freedom Tunes? Never. Let's see. What's this say? How do I engage in religious dialogues with my secular, atheist, liberal friends at my public high school? Yeah, so what I would say is, look for ways in the conversations you're having with your friends just to bring it up. And when you're having discussions about it, it's better to ask questions. Don't talk, ask questions. Pry into what they believe. When they tell you, say, why do you believe that? Now, if they're raging leftists, they're going to get mad and storm off because they can't tell you what they believe because they don't believe anything. They have no good basis for it because they're low IQ, because they don't have any arguments for what they believe because it's just unintelligible gobbledygook. Women should be equal to men. Great. What does that mean? Because to you it means women oppressing men, specifically white men. So I would say ask questions and then listen to their responses and then start talking. Say, well, let me tell you what I believe. That's the best way to do it. Okay. Public schools can hardly teach kids how to read. True. Platonism is goated. So true, King. So true. If both candidates are really immoral, but one has more Christian-aligned policies, is it morally right to vote for that person? Depends on the situation. That are really immoral, have Christian-aligned politics, depends on the situation and what they're doing that's immoral. Freedom Tunes is base true. Are you an incrementalist or an abolitionist? I'm an abolitionist. Alrighty. Although I have some incrementalist tendencies sometimes. But I'm a pure just abolitionist. Alrighty, boys. I hope in the Discord you're in the VC. Because it's time. It's time for the panel. Alrighty now. Alright now. Alright, come on. Let's get this pulled up for a second, and I'm going to join. And let's see. Pulling this up here. Over a minute. We only have one person in the VC to be part of the panel. My brother in Christ. All of you. Hop in I'm going to add Nick here to okay, I'm going to add you to the server right quick so that you can come hang out with us. I'm just going to put you as server member. All right, now, Nick, you should be able to see the Lounge VC. Everybody come on in. Lounge VC. Okay, here we go. Let me pull this up on found that the moral and transcendental arguments work better with liberals and seculars. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Okie dokie. Oh, no, don't do that. All right. Everyone join the lounge chat if you're in the Discord. Okay. Here we go. Hold on 1 second. Boom, yeah, boom, yeah, boom, yeah. So what's going to happen is I'm going to cut this off. And you are only going to hear audio from the desktop. Here we go.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh. Yeah. Splendid. Okay, sure. Hello. Go ahead.
I didn't. Go ahead.
No, please go for it.
No, you're good. You're good, Nick.
You sure? All right. So,
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. Yep. Go ahead.
okay. So I gotta confess, this is the first time I'm hearing about it, was today. And honestly, as Isaiah said, pedophilia is one of the most despicable, disgusting, and outright sadistic crimes ever committed against humanity. And I concur with what Isaiah said, because pedophilia is the violation of a child's state of nature, which includes the state of innocence. So when you violate this state of innocence, you're taking away not only something that is so pure and divinely gifted to children, but you're also robbing children of their ability to naturally develop into a better way and outright changing them into something that's going to affect them forever. I mean, let's be honest, we all look at it all throughout society. When we have children being sexualized at 11, 10 years old, they're never the same, because at this age the brain is undergoing some crucial developments which are altered in very negative ways by over sexualization, by exposure to such pedophilic acts. So in conclusion, it is disgusting, and justice must be pursued at its greatest extent.
Mhm. Um, like Nick said, this was the first time I'd ever heard of him. But I was surprised and I was quite dismayed. Seems like so much of our politicians just decide to engage in horrible and despicable acts. And it's just, it saddens my heart so much to see that another one who was in the running for a political career decided to just end it and really made just sinful and despicable choices
Yeah.
by engaging in pedophilia nonetheless. So my first inclination was saddened, but as Nick said, it is despicable and horrible what he was doing, absolutely disgusting. So Lord willing, he'll be prosecuted to the full extent over in Georgia.
Yeah. And I don't know what the law is in Georgia over that, but I assume that he'll be prosecuted. I'm hearing on the stream that I cannot be heard, and I realize that's because I turned off my mic on there on accident. So if y'all can hear me over there on the stream, let me know. Can y'all still hear me here on the panel?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so my thing is, so much of our current political establishment, and I was surprised to learn that he'd even resigned, first of all, because so many times with our political establishment, they just run cover for each other. And I'm surprised that that's not what happened this time. Nobody's run cover for. In fact, everybody's run away from him. I've seen people who had, pictures with him delete their pictures with him and whatnot. So that's one thing that shocked me, is that they actually ran from him. But like I said, I expect that he'll attempt to make a comeback in 20-25 years. What other things about the situation stuck out to y'all? We've heard from Nick, we've heard from Christian, so Gravemind or Josh, you can take this one away. Some other things that stuck out to you about the situation. Not all at once. Am I goofing? I'm not. Okay. Well, all right. If y'all don't have anything to say, that's fine. Something we can talk about here on the panel, I guess. Do y'all have any questions for me before we get back into it going? All right, I'm getting no response. What happened? Who resigned? It was Ja'Quon Stembridge.
I guess.
Okay, you go.
I was gonna go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
I think a question for you is what videos do you have planned right now? Do you have anything special coming up in the next few episodes of the ISAIAH LaFoNE show?
Yeah, so we have an ISAIAH LaFoNE Live, which if we get more information about the Ja'Quon Stembridge situation, we will cover on the next episode of that, this Wednesday at 8:30. If not, we're going to just cover the economy issue. I'm going to talk about why the economy is doing so terrible. This episode, I talked about the ISAIAH LaFoNE show coming out this Saturday, is on the issue of me being labeled as a communist. I know I saw a question that said, am I a communist? It kind of comes up to your interpretation of what it means to be communist. If your interpretation of communist is not letting billionaires who have gotten their wealth through immoral and unethical ways run society, take advantage of American citizens, not letting the big banks take advantage of American citizens, the mortgage lenders, put everyone into debt slavery just to get them in a house. If that's what you mean by communist, then sure, I'm a communist, but that's actually not communism, which is why it's so funny to me that Ben Shapiro, my ultimate nemesis apparently now, he was talking about Theodore Roosevelt. He'd be like, Theodore Roosevelt's actually a terrible president. Oh, he was awful. He wanted to he wanted to do some trust busting for no legal reason. Nothing was wrong ever. Okay, people were not getting paid proper wages. Okay, the economy was in the dump. The business leaders at the time, people like Morgan, Vanderbilt, Carnegie, Rockefeller, etc., were literally handpicking politicians. They were in the pockets of everyone. They were able to do whatever they wanted, to take shortcuts, to starve people, to not pay their workers, to take advantage of their labor, force them to work overtime, literally keeping them in pretty much slavery. They were able to do that. And they had a monopoly on the railroads, which was to them pretty much the equivalent of the housing market today. We had someone leave here. Josh left. Okay, that's fine. Hope you come back, Josh. So you had instances where they're literally just enslaving their workers. They have a monopoly on the railroad industry at the time, right? So there was good legal reason to do this. But why would Ben Shapiro say something about that? Why would he say something like that? Why would he hate on Teddy Roosevelt, lie about U.S. history? Ben Shapiro, he either lied or he's ignorant, and for his sake, I actually will go with the latter on that he's ignorant. But why would Ben Shapiro say something like that? Why would he degrade Theodore Roosevelt? He's a believer in the administrative state. He wasn't. That's silly. Why would he say something like that? Because Ben Shapiro is benefiting from the current economic system, which is set up pretty much like the early 1900s. It's literally a carbon copy paste. They literally have the system set up the same way, and Ben Shapiro's benefiting from it. So he doesn't want a Theodore Roosevelt like figure to get any ideas. So that's what we'll be talking about upcoming. But Christian, you had something going on that you were, making known earlier today. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah. Yeah. So I myself have started my own YouTube channel called The Cultural Review Show with Christian Solti. And that's basically going to be reviewing a bunch of different cultural artifacts and events, mostly from modern history. But as I've been thinking today, maybe I'll do some some of the past and really what this looks like. I've gotten training, especially in high school, to be able to analyze different things that are happening in secular culture and Christian culture. So like I've been keeping up with AI some. That's been something that's been very concerning for me and has been for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how that can be a massive reflection upon human depravity and how we can program that to just have that be such a detriment to our society. Other things too, hopefully to look into some music as of late, both Christian and secular. I have
Mm-hmm.
concerns on both. I feel like there's a lot of contemporary Christian worship music that needs help, needs some massive reform, and ultimately comes downstream perhaps from some Christian, perhaps in some some air quotes there
Yeah.
of have poor culture, perhaps do not prioritize proper theology or even scriptural preaching. So hoping to look into that too, and also into some secular music. I do enjoy myself some good secular music, but there's also some secular music that I have to be very, very selective about. And so along with that comes weeding out a lot of the bad, and there's plenty of bad, because this is a secular United States culture we're talking about, and it's not all flowers and rainbows.
Right.
Not in the slightest. A lot of it gets pornographic and touches into some things we just need to weed out of our culture um, entirely. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's the hopes for the cultural review show. Alongside that too, I'm hoping to run some shorts that just bring some daily encouragement. I'm hoping to encourage brothers and sisters in the faith when times get tough.
Mm-hmm.
To keep going, keep looking to Christ, keep reflecting Him with those around them, and keeping Him at the forefront of their lives, and prioritizing their relationship with Him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's been my big news today is starting that, putting in some study and work for that as well, making sure that I'm well understanding of concepts for videos. I don't want to lead anybody astray.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, most certainly.
be appreciative.
Yeah.
I'd be appreciative if y'all would go sub to me as well. So yeah,
Yeah, most certainly. Everybody do that. The cultural review, isn't that right?
yeah, cultural review show. Yeah.
With Christian Solti. Awesome. Yeah, guys, keep on the lookout for that. That's going to be great. I'll say this. I am very pleased that you're doing this, and hopefully we can collaborate in a lot of ways in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're right. I think the culture today is very much a culture of sex and death. Death in the sense of abortion and assassination culture now on the left, and then sex. They're their other vice. They love killing people, and they love having sex with people. Nick, I want to go to you because you've been active on the panel. Grave Mind's been typing, but Nick, you've been active in the panel. What's your read on that? Would you agree that we live in a culture, a leftist culture of sex and death? What would you add to that?
I mean, absolutely. I fully agree with that. If we look at the present history, we're at a time where pornography, where sex work, where overall bodily degeneracy has been accepted into society, right? So we have people, if you go on any podcast around YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, you name it, it has gotten to a point where, a little bit off topic, but like around 40 years ago, if you went around to say, I sell my videos of me doing erotic acts to people, they would be shocked. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if you remember history, I don't think you guys remember because we're all from the late 2000s, but
Right.
in the 1990s, Bill Clinton got impeached for his scandal with Monica Lewinsky,
Mm-hmm.
right? But right now in the 2025, there are thousands of women out there promoting their quote unquote work of selling videos of them doing very sexual, very horrific acts around there, and people are clapping for them. Woohoo! Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Female body empowerment, never mind the fact that it makes them look like objects and not regular human beings. But
Right.
regardless of that, I fully agree that we're at a time that culture is shying away from the good, the true, and the beautiful, as Charlie Kirk used to say, which is the divinity of God, which is the revelation of his perfect nature through scriptures, but most importantly, objective morality, which is dictated by God and by nobody else, and towards this utilitarian view of whatever maximizes my personal happiness and the personal happiness of the majority of the dominant group is
Mm-hmm.
right. That is unfortunately what is being prevalent in modern day American society. And yeah, it needs to be fought and defeated.
Mm-hmm. Christian, you got anything to add on that?
I think I'd like to add, to keep touching on good old TGB, truth, goodness, and beauty.
Mm-hmm.
That how devoid so much of our secular culture, and sometimes I fear Christian culture can be too, of truth, goodness, and beauty. Those are the things, especially, that are meant to lead us to God, that point to God. Um, we know that God is real because it's true, because He's true, and that's how we can trust His word, because we know that's true as well. We know that He's good, and we know that He is beautiful, and so much of what He's created, everything He's created, is beautiful, and those things are able to all point to God. And so when we come across a culture that's devoid of those things, we find then that it is godless, and that's not surprising, because without God, they're not going to be able to replicate any of those three in the
Mm-hmm.
slightest. They can
Most
make
certainly.
attempts, and ultimately they're going to try and muddy it down to where they think it is true and good and beautiful. Either that, or you're now in a scenario where they deny truth. They say with Pilate, "What is truth?
Mm-hmm.
What's that? What is truth? There's nothing true here. It's all subjective. It's all up to your opinion." And where they have an outright smashing of beauty and goodness, like, they don't care about that. They don't care about goodness and beauty. They care about that. Better yet, they've twisted beauty, especially. They like, it's just deplorable how sexualized the culture has become, and how we're willing to allow it to be so. We can't allow it to be so anymore. So many people are just willing to engage with it because they've been lulled.
Right.
Their sinful flesh has been lulled into a state where they're willing to be complacent, and truly, I mean, it stems from their own sinful hearts,
Mm-hmm.
ultimately. Um, so we have to get back to TGB. We have to get back to bringing truth, goodness, and beauty into culture, pointing back to God, um, proclaiming the gospel on the mountaintops, especially at this time, Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing greater, nothing better to do than to proclaim the gospel. Um, but ultimately, we need to reform the culture as well. And Lord willing, many will be converted by our efforts.
Amen. Amen. And I think at the end of the day, we want America to be saved. We can fix the economy. We can bust up the big businesses, the big banks that are taking advantage of the American people. We can deport all the people in our country. Remigration has to happen. And I know all the left, when they hear that, they're like, oh, so all the white people must go back to Europe. No. By the legal definition of immigration, we did not immigrate. We colonized, and then we conquered. There's a difference. Immigration happens when you're leaving one established country and going to another established country. When the Europeans got here, it was not an established country. It was a patchwork of native tribes and confederacies who were quite uncivilized and backwards in a lot of their thinking. And they were pagans as well. So they say, oh, you got to go back to. No, we came here, we colonized, and we conquered. And we're not going to be conquered by, whether it's Muslims or it's any group of people, Muslims, cartels, any group of people. And so remigration happens. We can do remigration. We can fix the economy. But at the end of the day, nothing is really going to permanently change the United States. Permanently through policy. You can do all these things and still have a culture that's fundamentally immoral. And I think if we don't get back to having a moral country, a religious country, which I think we're going to get back to with Gen Z, I really do. I really think that. But if we don't get back to that, then we're never going to make substantial change in our country. America will never be great again till she turns around, gets on her knees, and repents of her sin. And we're going to do that. So, thank you all for being a part of this panel today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. All righty. Cool. So, we'll have a longer panel probably Wednesday because we'll have probably less to talk about on Wednesday, especially if we're talking about updates regarding the Ja'Quon Stembridge thing. We'll probably talk about some updates, and then we'll have more of a Q&A session on the panel. So, thank you all for watching this first real episode of Isaiah LaFone Live. I will be back with you again this Wednesday night at 11:30 p.m. Or not 11:30, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be back with you again this Wednesday and this Friday, again at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And this Wednesday at 6 p.m., the first episode of the 5-part series, Very Merry LaFone Christmas, begins. I will be telling you all my 5 favorite Christmas stories, ending with the best one on Christmas Day. So, thank you all for watching. God bless, and may the peace of Christ go with you all. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Gabe, I just saw you. Okay, Gabe, listen. All right, boys, we get a little something special today. Gabe, listen. I will give you a pass today. But if you miss next week, it's 500 years in purgatory, son. All right, for real, though, thank you all for watching. God bless. May the peace of Christ go with you. I will see you all this Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Be there, Gabe. Be there, y'all. And thank you all. 68 views today is awesome. Thank you guys so much. I know, we're shooting ultimately to, I want to build a big community. I want to have a platform to be able to speak to not just y'all, but millions of other people. But it's got to start somewhere. And I'll remember each and every one of you guys. People have been here with me from the beginning. So thank you so much for being here with me. I promise one day when we have a big platform, I will not forget you. I can't wait to see where this goes. So thank you so much for 69 views. Look, you guys could have chosen to watch any live stream tonight. You could have chosen to watch any big creator, and you watched me, and you put your faith in me. So thank you so much. I will see you all this Wednesday at 8:30. All right, God bless.
snow.